Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My husband, the love of my life, just confessed he's been sleeping with our neighbor. Advice. I left my husband 4 days ago when he told me he had an affair with a neighbor. It lasted a little over a month. He confessed to me because he was so full of guilt. He told me they started out just saying hi when passing out on morning runs. It gradually grew into them talking and running together, then escalated to going to her house and having sex. I suspected something was off. He has been cold and distant, sometimes he would be short with me. He wasn't interested in sex with me, so it stopped completely. I suspected an affair. My husband has always been wonderful. We were always so affectionate and communication was on point. We were wanting to have a baby soon, and before the affair we were trying. When he told me about the affair, he was just sick. He couldn't explain why he did what he did. He claims he hadn't fallen out of love with me. He was attracted to her physically and was infatuated. He came to his senses. Broke it off. She didn't take it well. He begged me not to leave and wanted to get counseling. He was seriously a wreck. I felt he was remorseful. But I was just sick with betrayal and mistrust. The coldness he treated me with just broke my heart. I went for STD testing and panels and I was just a mess. I can't believe my marriage was at this point. I stayed for a few days after and he was / trying everything to make things right. But I feel so sad, sick and numb. I am broken-hearted. Anyway, I told my husband I couldn't be with him anymore. I didn't say divorce, but I said we were done. I asked him to leave. He was very upset, but he did. He's at a hotel. As I said, she didn't want to let go so easily, she wanted to leave her husband. And was trying to convince my husband to leave me. He wouldn't. We have been married 5 years, we have 1 child, a boy. He's 3. She has 3 kids. My husband is visiting our son every day after his long shifts. He's an ER doctor, so he works late. He asked if he could visit our son and tuck him in at night. Of course I said yes. Sunday after Halloween trick-or-treating, my husband asked if we could talk. I don't know how I got myself into this, but he really pressured me into sex. We talked and maybe I drank a bit too much. I was upset and guilty for feeling down on Halloween. I felt it was taking away from my son. Next thing I know, I am getting out of the shower and he puts the baby in bed. He's all over me, begging me to forgive him. He's on top of me, kissing me and then having sex with me. I definitely didn't want sex, I was tipsy, but I told him no. He's just trying to convince me to give in. Let him show me he's sorry, etc. I was uncomfortable with all of this. He ends up sobbing after it's over, saying he ducked up our marriage and he wants to die. He's so ashamed and embarrassed. He's doing horrible at work, leaves early, he can't get his head right. He's saying over and over again, "What have I done?" I believe he's remorseful. But I don't know what to do. I have lost respect and trust for my husband. I keep having this image of him making love to her. Him avoiding sex with me. But now he's all over me. During sex he didn't have a condom with me, and he didn't withdraw. I was just shocked. I asked him what the hell he was doing, ejaculating inside me. He was aggressive, he would just hold me down harder. He apologized, but he's losing it. He's never been like that with me sexually, ever. He seems like he has changed. He's begging me to forgive, but I feel like our marriage is a mess. I do not know if I can conjure up the willpower to mend a broken marriage. I don't know if love is enough, once trust is thrown out the window. Today he called me and said he was so sorry for what he's put me through, sent roses and spoke on how he's too ashamed to face our family. They're so disappointed in him. I am too. I feel so sick and I can't stop my mind from racing. Maybe divorce is the only option? I just cannot believe I am going through this. I thought I was the love of his life. Will I live through this? Should I cut my ties with him and move in with my life? I have a hard time trusting. Now my husband/best friend broke my heart. I would like some advice on what I should consider for my next move. I'm so broken I could just cry. To be honest, it sounds like he only told you about it because she was about to blow it up. Possible. Maybe her husband found out. Confirm it. Tell him yourself. The neighbor shouldn't get away with this. Agreed. Op definitely needs to have a conversation with the neighbor's husband. Completely agree. Our husband was probably working to provide to the family while she was screwing around. He needs to be told. Op will also get a good feeling after telling on them, like a revenge feeling. I know it doesn't sound nice, but it does feel good. Why should Op and her son be the only ones suffering the consequences when they are the victims in this story? I agree. She wasn't going to let a doctor go that can support her financially. I'm sure she would have told you, so it forced his hand. Now he's trying to knock you up and force your hand into staying. Lawyer up and learn your options. I would strongly recommend no contact since he assaulted you once already. If he wants child visitation, he needs to find a suitable place. You can't let him in your house anymore. Get a child custody app, so you can clearly communicate about your son, and block him everywhere else. Yes, him forcing himself on Op was his hope in getting her pregnant so she will stay. No means no, and he didn't listen. Instead Op said he was aggressive. That was not an act of love, that was an act of force and possessiveness. Stay safe Op, and keep your distance. Does her husband know? If he doesn't know, they should tell him. And be careful that this sexual attitude is not normal. Do tests to see if you have any disease and look for a lawyer. I'm not sure if he does know. I have a checkup tomorrow. My second one. I have so much to do. I think it's best to divorce him. He's been trying to contact me all evening. He's working now, I am about to sleep, he will continue this all night. The text and calls. It's getting obsessive. I want this to stop. I can't live like this. You should tell him, husband, don't let him continue to be fooled. And if it is better that you divorce, and unfortunately if he continues like this you will have to ask for a restraining order. Tell him to stop because he's only hurting you more. Tell the other husband. Of all the advice you're getting here, please at least take that counsel to heart. I did tell him. Today. I posted an update explaining what I did today. Do not be alone with him again, he sexually assaulted you. You need to talk to the neighbor's husband if he does not know yet. It felt like sexual assault, but at the time I didn't like it that way. I felt like he started with the kissing and cuddling and it just escalated so fast. As I said, I had been drinking to take my mind off of having to spend the evening trick-or-treating with our son and being near him that night. I thought a drink or two would ease my nerves, but I did keep drinking much more than I usually do. If I bring up sexual assaults and he's going to bring up the fact that I was obviously drunk and don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Hey Op, I don't want to make you feel worse about this situation, but I have something I really want to bring to light here. It is extremely alarming and scary about what happened when you two had sex, because that wasn't sex, Op. That was coercion, holding you down, ejaculating in you when you didn't want him to. Your husband sexually assaulted you. He sexually abused you, and from what I have seen and from my own experiences it won't stop there. I truly do not believe once you lay your hands on your partner that the relationship can recover. A line is crossed, permanently. He says he's so sorry and that he cries and begs, but then he abuses. You need to divorce him, because you deserve better, because your children deserve better. He is not the man you thought he was. He is dangerous and he is a threat to your well-being. I am so sorry you're going through this. You may have developed trauma from all of this, and I highly recommend seeking out a therapist as well. I do need to speak to someone. This is all affecting me badly. I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm afraid it will affect my son. Today I realized I haven't eaten. I cooked for my son but I can't eat. I don't want to burden my family. I'm ashamed and embarrassed. I do need help. This is also new. I have still yet to fully process what the hell happened. Update: my husband cheated on me with our neighbor. I told her husband everything this morning. Coping. My husband cheated on me with our neighbor. I told her husband everything this morning. It turns out that he wanted to meet me. Why? My husband told him the day he confessed to me. He told him everything. He was trying to break it off with her, and she wouldn't have it. She started blowing up the hospital phone looking for Dr. My husband. My husband was taken into the director's office because she was causing so much trouble. Her husband left her, put her out. She's gone to her sister out of state and he has the kids. He asked me if I needed anything. He was very kind. But he respects my husband for coming to him. Apologized, and my husband was telling him he was going to lose his family. He says my husband was an absolute mess. He also said that his wife has cheated before. With a high school ex-boyfriend she found on Facebook. I didn't tell him about him forcing himself on me. Until Reddit, I honestly didn't know that your husband could sexually assault you. I spoke to a lawyer today. He said yes, spousal exes are real, but incredibly hard to prove. Also, he has a right to our home. He comes in with his keys. This evening he showed up out of the blue. He realizes he hurt me during sex. He realizes he did something wrong because he corners me in the kitchen. I was giving him space and time with his son. He is respectful towards me. He hasn't demanded to speak to me or harassing me. I was in the kitchen, trying to eat something. He did corner me, asked me to hear him out after I said please I don't want to do this. Seeing him is heartbreaking. He was my best friend. The one person I went to when I needed advice or to cry. Now I can't, so that is hard. He apologized for being aggressive with me the other night. He realized that he was wrong for not being more concerned with my feelings. But he just wanted to make love to me. He thought I would realize how much he loved me. He couldn't stop once he started. He claims to be losing his mind. He is taking a mental health leave from work. I have to ask my lawyer about changing the locks. Because he made me feel really uncomfortable tonight. He lied and said he would leave after giving the baby a bath and put him down. He would be in a complete opposite side of the house. He comes into the kitchen again. He puts his arms around me. He was hugging me, but he wouldn't let me go. He didn't hurt me. But he was saying please let me hold you. I love you, please don't leave me. I will do anything to make this right for you. I love you. I'm sorry. I felt terrible but I didn't give in. I don't think I can ever get over this. I have people telling me to leave. Others say he is remorseful. But I don't think I can trust again. His actions have broken 2 homes. The hearts of many young kids, their lives will never be the same. My life will never be the same. He's told his best friend, which is my friend's husband. He's been confiding in him, and telling him that he is not losing me. He won't. To me that sounds threatening. Because he is never mean or hostile towards me. But he can be. I have seen him in arguments and a fight with other men. In college he beat the hell out of a guy. He's pretty tall and muscular. I'm 5 feet 7 inches and 125. I just can't help but think of women being murdered by men they loved. I fear that. What if I tell him about the lawyer and wanting a divorce? What if he won't have it? He's always been in love with me. I'm not saying it in a braggish way. But he has always been protective of me and a bit clingy, and always says he doesn't want to ever live without me. It was good when things were good, but now it's not so good considering I am considering the divorce. People change. He's always been good to me. He's always taken care of everything. I have a medical degree too, in medical science. But I never worked long in my field. So he is definitely the money maker. I do control the finances. He's always open and generous. But if he finds out all the things I did today, he may change. He definitely has a temper. That's my fear. I'm sorry, but what you know about your husband has gone out the window. I'm telling you, based on what very dear and close friends confided in me about some of their prior marriages and relationships, he can and will turn violent on you. Like I said in my comment on your original post, this was a man who was playing God. Everything was going his way, he had you for his home comfort and stability and his mistress on the side. Now his world is crumbling, his reputation is in shambles, and he's desperate. He XD you, he's now cornering you in rooms to force you to hear what he wants to say. Any guilt and remorse he's claiming to feel is a day late and $1 short. When are you going to understand this man has no respect for you? He didn't before, and that's why he cheated. And he certainly doesn't now. He's going to do whatever it takes to make you come around to doing things his way. And the more the reality sets in that you've decided to leave him, the more he is going to escalate things, until he becomes violent. Please, for your sake, and your child's sake, get away from him. Don't ever be alone in a house with him again, have somebody there who could either call the cops or physically repel him. Thank you for the advice. I have taken steps to keep myself safe. My brother is moving in tomorrow. It benefits us both that he's in college and will be able to save money staying with me, and I will also have his protection. He works from home, so he will be home pretty much all the time other than when he has classes, which is great because it's when my husband is normally at work. He is willing to stay as long as I need. He has also offered to take the baby to his father so I do not have to have contact. My lawyer is on board and is having me document everything that takes place. So this is a step forward. Thank goodness. I want to address one point on the sexual assault, best summed up thusly: everything he said to you is bullshit. X is an act of rage, where the rapist's focus is his sense of power and control. He was and is losing control of this situation. You became the outlet and focus of his rage. It was an act of violence. Somebody who loves you would be turned off by the idea of hurting you. Somebody who wants to show you their love would hear "stop, you're hurting me," and would then stop hurting you. The harm done to the victim is as much a part of the rapist's goal as their orgasm. Of course he's telling you it was motivated in love. If he says anything otherwise, he's so ducked he'd make Debbie Does Dallas look like a purity ball. But there is a notable difference between an enthusiastic partner and one who is non-consenting, and anyone sane, with any kind of concern for their partner, would at some point realize that either they're ducking a dead body or their partner does not want to have sex tonight, and stop. At least long enough to confirm that they aren't committing a felony. And most of us do not want to believe that anyone could be that depraved, let alone someone we love, because we want the monsters to stay fictional. So it is very easy for an abuser to say "I didn't mean to X you, so it doesn't count." But just the fact that he's attempting a half-assed cleanup here should be enough to tell you that he knows what he did. And the fact that he went for "I was so overwhelmed / just trying to convince you of love / scared" tells me that he knows goddamn well you were not consenting to sex, because not even he can convince himself that you in any way, shape or form wanted him to do that. So please don't buy the poor be lover act. Please. He knows what he did. You know what he did. Don't let him talk you out of the truth. Everything he said to you is bullshit. End of story. Additionally, he's still not respecting ops space or personal boundaries. He says he's sorry, but he's still doing it. I realize what he is doing. It's escalated. He seems to forget. I have a medical degree too. I'm not an idiot. My bad was not being educated on spousal sexual X, and that is a real thing. I've been reading and educating myself on these issues every single day. I never knew that sexual spousal abuse was a real thing. My lawyer told me that it would be an almost near impossible thing to prove that spousal X is what happened that night. But now I realize he is being very manipulative. It has escalated this evening. My brother is moving in tomorrow, and he knows this, and he is really acting more aggressive than ever. So to protect myself, I did go to my lawyer today, and he's on board with my brother moving in. He is also advising me to keep a major paper trail of every interaction I have with my husband, not to withhold our son from him of course, but to have my brother do the visitations for me. My brother is more than willing to do just that. They can meet in the park, they can meet at a restaurant, wherever. Just as long as I am not involved, I need to keep my distance, and I need to go 100% non-contact. You feel fear for a reason. Listen to your gut. Yes. I'm starting to realize that. Thank you. You should be talking to the police and starting a paper trail. This man sounds dangerous. He could be a threat to both you and your children. I have spoken with my lawyer. I have started a paper trail as well. I'm sorry, but I honestly think you need to go no contact for a while. He is very unstable and extremely unpredictable. Supervised visitation would be mandatory for a while after some therapy. You need to document everything. He needs deep psychotherapy. Prayers. Deep psychotherapy? He seems that unstable? Only for your safety and your children's. He is losing his power, control, respect, and reputation. He is self-imploding and starting to unravel. Be on guard. Yeah, dude, he really does. Could be a medical issue, or he just got caught up and did something stupid. Either way, he needs a professional. It's better he talks to them than lose it and end up in a cell or worse. I agree. Are you afraid of your husband hurting you? I don't believe he would hurt me. He's never been violent, he's never raised his voice. He's always been gentle and patient. He's always in good spirits. But now he's different. Since we broke up, he's crying all the time. Saying he's mentally unhealthy and unhappy and completely lost without me. I know he loves me and is in love with me. He seems to be in shock of what has happened. Like, what did he expect? He misses the baby. I know he knows he really messed up. But his emotions are not stable. I don't fear him. But I can't put much past him anymore. He did hurt you, when he sexually assaulted you. It's very clear that he has no problem harming you, especially with the way he's become overly possessive of you and not respecting your boundaries. Please, if you have anywhere to go, any friends or family, please go stay with them along with your child. Don't tell him about the divorce until the papers are already drawn up and someone else can serve him. Please leave before it's too late. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.